Hello, my beautiful galactic soul family. Welcome back. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. My frequency is Gabbie, also known as Witchy Vibes 11. My galactic code is the Blue Storm Tribe. My tone is solar. My kin number is 139, Blue Solar Storm. Welcome to my channel. If you are here listening to this audio right now, it's because you were guided here. Welcome. So let's get started. My hope is that everyone that is listening is doing and feeling really, really well, especially with everything that's going on around the world. And I would like to take a moment to send all of you that are listening some healing and loving energy. For those of you that would like to receive this energy, this love and healing energy, I ask you to just please stop what you're doing just for a moment so that you can focus. I want you to take a few big, deep breaths to get yourself ready to receive, clear your mind. If you'd like, you can close your eyes or you can keep your eyes open. Excuse me. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to focus on all the souls that are listening to me right now. I'm going to set the intention in my mind. I'm about to telepathically send love and healing to everyone that is tuned in. I'm sending my love to all of you unconditionally from my heart space to yours. I'm wrapping you all in a healing blanket of blue and silver light to all of you that are in need, physically, mentally, and spiritually. I'm going to hold the intention that I'm going to make my love and healing energy available for all of you that accept, if you choose to accept. I cannot and will not force it upon you. All I can do is take a moment to let this energy build up in my heart and pass it on to you if you accept the love and healing. And if you do accept the love and healing, I ask that you open your heart and allow it in by taking a big, deep breath. And exhale. How did that feel? Did any of you guys feel anything? Did you get anything? Did you see anything? I'm just curious. If you did, please let me know. Share down below in the comments area. I want to know if any of you got any tingly feelings in your heart space or anywhere on your body that needed healing, or if you actually seen the blanket in the color of blue and silver. You don't have to share, but if you feel guided to share, I'm really curious. I want to thank you for allowing me to send you all healing and love. I am grateful for every single one of you that is tuned in and listening to me. I want to add that if you are listening to me right now and you have not switched over to another video, it's because you were guided here for a reason. Maybe you were guided to be coded. Maybe it's for awareness consciously, or to expand your knowledge, or maybe I'm a puzzle piece for you. You're not here. There's no accidents, and it's not a coincidence. You're here for a reason. You have to trust and believe that you're here for a reason. I do hope that you can all feel that love that I sent out to you. And I hope it really does brighten up your day, your evening, your night. And it makes you feel really good inside. All right, so let's move forward with this grounding video. So I want to talk to you guys about grounding. I know I've talked about this in many of my older videos. But there's a lot of new souls waking up and hopping online. And, this is like a refresher for the old souls that have heard me talk about this, but this is also new information for the new souls that have never heard of this. So I always mention ascension symptoms, and I always recommend in a lot of my videos that you make sure that you ground yourself. Some of you that are new to all of this may have no idea at all what grounding even means, and you may have heard it a dozen times, but you still just don't really know what it means. And maybe you do know what it means, but you don't know why it's so important or how it's important for you. And I'm going to share that, with you guys. So I'm going to go over what grounding is. I'm going to go over some of the symptoms of what it feels like to be ungrounded. I'm going to share some of my, I'm going to share examples with you guys. I'm going to use my life as an example. So, I find that it's really helpful when I share real life stuff because, I'm a real life person and we go through real life, things. And instead of just giving you, false examples of something that I've read, I feel that it's better if I share stuff that I've dealt with. I just feel that it's more authentic, I guess. So, and then I'm going to share with you guys on what you can do. I'm going to give you some tips on what you can do to get yourself grounded and aligned so you can start feeling better in life. So in order for me to talk about grounding, we have to understand everything is energy. You are energy. I am energy. The chair that you're sitting in is energy. The bed you're lying in is energy. The floor you're sitting on is energy. The device that you are listening to me through right now is energy. The coffee you're drinking, the water you're drinking, or whatever it is that you're drinking, it's energy. Everything is energy. It's energy vibrating at different speeds, anchoring us in different frequencies. If you have a low vibration, meaning a negative attitude, that's a low vibration. If you're feeling sad, that's a low vibration. Angry, grumpy, you're in a frequency that's low. It's also, it's a vibration that's low, and it's a frequency of disharmony or a frequency of hate or duality. We are electrical beings living in an electrical universe. Us human beings emit an electrical current. This current affects everyone. Every human you come into contact with, including animals and all living organisms. That means everything that embodies the property or the properties of life. Animals and other living organisms affect us human beings as well. So for example, have you ever went to a big party or a large event like a concert or something? Or a get-together with friends or family, or maybe you went to a family dinner like Thanksgiving or a big Christmas dinner, or maybe you do the every Sunday family get-together and have dinner together. And every time you do that, or you do any of these things that I just mentioned, you leave feeling drained, exhausted. And you're so exhausted and you're so drained that you turn to the person next to you and you mention to your partner or your best friend or whoever it is that you're with, and you say something like, damn, my parents really drain my energy. Or if you're at one of those large events, you might say something like, wow, people really get me exhausted. I feel really exhausted being around all those people. Or, maybe you're at a party with a couple friends and you say something like, wow, every time Joe Schmo is around, he really just drains my energy every single time. And when you're at these large events or these parties or these gatherings and get-togethers, you notice that you're just wicked exhausted after being around people, and you're just like, I'm spent. I can no longer people. I just want to go home. I just want to put my PJs on and I want to be left alone. I don't even want to answer my phone. That's how drained I am. Has that ever happened to you? Well, the fact of the matter is that humans can absorb and emit electrical current. Feeling drained is because you absorbed. Absorbing people's energy can have more of an effect on you than you can ever imagine. That's why grounding is important. Protecting your energy field, your personal space, your bubble. It's important. It's important. I know if you're new to all of this, you might be like laughing right now because it may sound a little silly, but the longer you are on your path and you continue your journey, your spiritual awakening journey, you will realize that grounding yourself is very important. I do remember the first time I was told that I needed to ground myself, and I laughed because I just thought that was really like wishy-washy, woo-woo. I was like, yeah, whatever. So yeah, it is really, really important. Energy in some cases could actually change the path of your day and possibly even your life. And when I say your life, I mean making grounding a part of your everyday life, being consistent with it will make you a happier human being, and that will definitely change your life. But energy can also change the path of your day by coming into negative energy or positive energy. If you bump into somebody that's negative, that energy you're going to pick up on, you're going to absorb that negative energy, and it's going to make you have a shitty day. Maybe not all day, but you might have a shitty moment in a part of your day just because somebody else dumped that toxic energy onto you because you were ungrounded. So we are energy, an infinite current of energy. This is where grounding comes in. We need to ground ourselves to protect our energy fields. Hold on, I gotta stretch my leg out here. It's starting to fall asleep. I'm sitting on the floor. I'm grounding, sitting on the floor. So, I don't want to move my camera. I just want to get comfortable here. I apologize. Okay, so grounding is the act of balancing your spiritual and physical energy by connecting yourself with the earth. Gaia. Gaia is earth. Something that scientists are aware of. Our ancestors knew this. And in my opinion, this should be what we teach our children. We should be teaching our children how to ground. And our elders, like our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, should be perfecting grounding, what we're teaching with their many, many years of knowledge to help us, to be a supportive, loving collective. If we were teaching our children to ground, and we were taught to ground like our ancestors, our ancient ancestors, they knew about this. If we continued the process of grounding in our life, I feel that the world would be much different than it is today. And, the people in your life would be your tribe. And in your tribe, you have elders, and elders are there to help you grow. They're there to support you. They're there to teach you. And then there's that chain of command, the elders, and then there's you, and then there's your children. And, I just feel that if we were grounding as a collective, and it's something that the schools were teaching, we were teaching our children, I just really do feel that the world would definitely be much better than it is today. Maybe not 100% healed, but I think it would be more loving as a whole, and I think there would be less fear. I do feel that grounding was basic knowledge for all of us at one point of our human existence. These basic teachings were taken away from us many, many, many years ago. I'm talking like maybe even eons ago. I definitely feel that when religion became a thing, I feel, and this is just my opinion, I feel that that's when, we were starting to be disconnected from ourselves, and a lot of things that are, a lot of things that connect us to the earth and to our consciousness, our higher self, or God, creator, source. I just feel like religion has a lot to do with taking that away from us. Again, and that's just my opinion. I feel like the plan was always to disconnect us, and it's a process. It took many, many, many years, hundreds, thousands of years to disconnect the human race from, from the whole, from the collective. It's not something that, was done overnight. It was definitely something that was put into place so that we could follow the ones that are trying to rule over us, that are trying to take control of us. And once we're disconnected, we're easily programmed because, we're not in contact with God, creator, source, our higher self, and we don't look within for the answers. We look outside of us for answers to everything that we're, that we require, like how to heal, how to eat, how to live, and just stuff like that. And when you're disconnected, it's easy to push fear onto you because fear controls you. So, and again, that's just my my opinion, my perspective. I don't know why I keep pressing the wrong button here. I also keep losing my place in my notes here. So grounding is great for everyone. You don't have to be a certain age to ground. I feel like grounding should be taught to us when we're children, and we should all be grounding, from being a child all the way up until we transition. I think grounding is very, very good and something that we all should be doing. But knowing how to ground yourself is also very important. Especially if you are a practicing energy worker or a seasoned medium or a psychic that works with other people or even animals on a daily basis, mingling in lots of different energies. Energy workers, they have to know how to protect their energy at all times, or they'll become very energy sick. I mean, all of us should be protecting our energy at all times, or we will become very energy sick. But if you are practicing, or if you're in the practice of helping others, and you're going to mingle with their energy, you have to be practicing, you know, how to really, really ground and not break that grounding protection around you, because that's just taking it to another level. Not only are you just trying to manage your energy and the energies around you from the everyday people and, you know, just everything, the dirty pollution energy that's, you know, the Wi-Fi energy, all that radiation energy, everything that's coming in that we can't see. If you're purposely going to help other people, that's just taking it to another level. So, you know, if you are an energy worker in any way, you definitely have to, I mean, and if you are an energy worker, I'm sure you guys already know that anyways, but for the new souls coming online and learning about energy, to help them understand that when they're going to get like Reiki healing, or, you know, if they're dealing with any psychics or mediums or getting massages or anything like that, and you're mingling with energies, you just have respect for them and try not to dump all of that onto them, because they really have to, you know, like shamans and healers of all kinds are really there to help you, and they have to put up with a lot to help you. So you want to always ground and protect your energy if you're mingling purposely with other people and trying to help them, or you will become very energy sick, drained, and run down. And it can even develop into a disease or a dis-ease that could turn into a permanent disease. So grounding also does more than protecting your energy. It also helps you to connect with God, source, creator, spirit, higher self. Whatever it is that you believe in, that's a much higher force than you. Remember, I always say this, you are a godling because you are a fractal of source. So those of you that are consciously going through a spiritual awakening, need to learn how to ground so that you can feel sane and safe and quote unquote normal. I mean, what is normal, but you know what I mean? To feel so that you can function. When I first started developing my psychic gifts and going through my awakening consciously, no one taught me about grounding and how important it is to ground. I always heard people talk about it, but I really had no idea on how to do it. And even when they told me how to do it, I really just didn't know why I was doing it. It was like, okay, yeah, I got to ground myself, but why? But like, why? I need details. Like, I need to understand what I'm doing. I need purpose, or, you know? So there was a time that I was going through so much in my life, emotionally and physically and spiritually. My life was chaotic. I was totally out of alignment and not balanced. I was literally a hot mess. I was experiencing so many symptoms. And this was on and off, you know. I think it got worse for me. I mean, being a kid, it's hard, you know, because you have your parents and they're supposed to be helping you and teaching you and embracing your gifts and stuff like that. But that wasn't the case for me. Life just always seemed a little rocky and rough. But I mean, I know I'm not the only one that had a rough life. But when I became a mother, and I was a mother at a young age, I was 16 and I had just turned 17, like 2 weeks, and then my son was born. So life was really just difficult for me. And then I added another human into my life that I had to take care of. And so I was always experiencing so much in my life, you know, and I just assumed that that was life of being a mother, life of being an adult. So when you're ungrounded, when you're not grounded, you become emotionally, mentally, and physically unstable and out of alignment. I did not know what was going on in my life. And as I became a young adult in my 20s, I was very unwell. For mostly all of my 20s, I was unwell mentally. Even into my very early 30s, I was still unwell mentally, thinking bad stuff all the time that caused me to have really, really bad, wicked, bad, panic attacks, bad anxiety. And that just made me feel really crappy all the time. And, it pulled me into a frequency of fear, which is a low vibration, which in return attracted low vibrational stuff into my life. I was in a battle with my shadow self daily, constantly, all the time. My vibration was low all the time. And because it was low, I attracted low vibrational people into my life. Have you ever heard that saying, misery loves company, or misery enjoys company? Well, it's true, because I attracted it. I attracted everyone that was mingling in misery, because that's where my vibration was. It was ugly, it was miserable, and it was just low. I made poor choices. At the time, my life sucked. That was my attitude. My life sucked. I said it all the time. My life sucks. I have bad luck, because I always felt like I had bad luck. Or I had bad days, like every single day was a bad day. I dreaded Mondays. I was one of those people that were like, oh God, it's Monday. My thinking was stinking. I made the best of my stinky low life. My favorite saying back then was, fuck it. Fuck it. If you can't beat them, join them. That was my way of thinking. I was just not happy. I was not happy at all. I was tired constantly. I was emotionally tired, mentally, physically, and even spiritually tired. I was just tired. I felt like I was being punished by the universe. I just felt empty. I felt like I was living in the void. I had a lot of hate and judgment. I was always judging people, talking about people. I was always about my ego. It was all about my ego, my title, my status, money. I was, if you did something wrong to me, I wanted revenge, and I didn't stop until I got that revenge, until I seen the revenge. I was all about the gossip, what was going on with this person and that person. Like, I always wanted the 411 or the T, on somebody else that was doing worse than me. I was mean. I was envious of happy people. I was jealous of their happiness, and I wished them to fail so that they could feel what it felt like to be poor and pitiful, because that's how I felt, poor, pitiful, hopeless. I wanted them to feel my pain. I felt like, I don't know. I really can't even explain. I just was envious. I felt like they owed something to me. If you're happy and successful, you should share that wealth, that happiness and success with me. I didn't think it was fair for somebody to have it all and walk around and gloat. That was the way I was thinking, you guys. I was thinking really ugly. I was thinking really bad. Physically, I was always sick. I felt sick all the time. I always felt like I had some life-threatening illness, some sort of disease festering in my body. I went to so many doctors. Back then, I was a hypochondriac. Like, I would see any doctor at any time for anything. But I mean, it could be from, like, my heart was beating fast, migraines, body pain, back aches. Back then, it was like my big toe hurt on my left foot. My elbow hurt on my right arm. My shoulder blades were hurting. My neck was hurting. My back was hurting. I was getting really, really, really skinny, but then I would gain a little bit of weight and I'd be fine, and then I'd get really skinny again. Like, I had so much wrong with me. My hair was coming out. I had panic attacks. I couldn't sleep. I had problems with my sleeping. I had my mind just wasn't right. Like, I was losing sleep, and I was just always thinking, and I don't know, I had no rest in my life. That's so weird. I said that and my music just like stopped, you guys. I had no rest in my life. The music stops. It's the power. So yeah, I just wasn't feeling good. So back then I went to go see doctors all the time because I was so sick all the time. So one day, you know, I was living in Queens, New York, and I worked in Queens on Queens Boulevard, and I wasn't feeling well. I went to the ladies' room and I did a hair toss, you know, and then when I flipped my hair back up, the whole room went sideways on me and I felt like, oh my God, I don't know what's wrong with me. I started to have a panic attack. I immediately called my doctor and I went to see my doctor. And he did say that I had some fluid in my ears, so I didn't have to really worry about that. I guess that happens when you have fluid in your ears. So I found relief, you know, knowing that something wasn't wrong with my brain. But prior to that, I did have a scan of my brain and my back and everything just to clear me from like MS and, you know, brain damage. I don't know. Doctors must have thought I was crazy, so they wanted to check my head. I don't know. Literally, a doctor said I was a hypochondriac, had me bring my family member in so they can secretly talk about me, and told my family member that I was a hypochondriac. That's not the case anymore, and we'll get into that. So I go and I see my doctor, and the doctor says, you know, Gabrielle, you're not sick. You're energetically drained. Yeah, you have some fluid in your ears, but all this other stuff that you're telling me, you're not sick. You're just drained. You're overwhelmed. And he goes on, he says, I think that you need to get away from the city before it kills you. He says, people and your job is draining you. And you need rest. And he says, as a doctor, that's, you know, what I would like to suggest for you. I would like to take you out of work because I think you need, you know, a long vacation, and I think you should just go to the countryside, or, you know, better yet, he said, what are you even doing here? Get out of the city. Go to the country. Get away from the city as fast as you can. You know? He said, this is no place for a girl like you. That was his exact words. This is no place for a girl like you. He said, once you go to the city, or once you go to the country, that's where you're going to find healing. He said, that's where you're going to find the healing that you're searching for. And he also said, there's no medication that I can give you to help you. You need peace and nature. So I was just looking at him and I was just like, he can't be serious. I stood in the little doctor seat, the patient seat, you know, the big black comfy chair in the ear, nose, and throat office with my head back in the neck rest, just staring at him, blinking my eyes, observing this old, short, you know, Jewish man. And I just couldn't believe that this man is telling me this. This is a doctor. Like, what? I was confused, and I thought that he needed to retire because he was old and nuts. So I laughed, and I said, really? Like, you can write me a script for that, like, to take a vacation. And he literally said yes. So I told him, I work 3 blocks away from here. The only country that I get is the park on my lunch break. And the park was this, like, patch of land that separated one side of the road from the other side of the road. It had little park benches, some flowers, some trees, and it wasn't very big. I think it was McDonald Park or something like that. It was really small. And that was the only nature that I got. You know, New York City doesn't have a lot of trees and stuff like that unless you go to Central Park. And I lived far from Central Park. So I said, realistically, how am I supposed to just pick up and leave? I have a job, you know, I have a family. And he says, that I need to find peace and I need to take some time to myself. He said that he could write me a letter and send it to my boss, to my job, and have them, take me out of work for mental health reasons. He said that he did not need to go into detail, and he can pull me out long enough for me to even collect some sort of, I don't know if it was a short-term disability or some sort of long-term, short-term, I don't know, some sort of a leave pay that you can collect for being out of work for medical reasons, something along those lines. And as I look back now, I think that was his way of saying that I needed to ground myself. He didn't say it in those words, but he looking back, that's how it comes across to me now. He was giving me spiritual advice without giving me spiritual advice. I believe that the science world lacks metaphysics and spirituality. They should be merged, not divided, because it's definitely divided. This doctor that I was seeing that day was put on my path to guide me. I didn't know it then, but I know it now. He was maybe an earth angel, or maybe he was even a soul that I had a contract with, a soul contract to help me when I needed it, to get me on the path to remembering that I'm a soul having a human experience. I wasn't placed here to be put at this job and just work, wake up, go to work, go to sleep, wake up, go to work, go to sleep, make money, 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 title, raise. Like, I didn't give a shit about anything else but my job. I even did my job when I was at home. And then on top of doing that job, I was also my husband's manager. And besides being his manager, I was also a booking agent for 2 other investors. And I was also their marketing manager that helped them, create these huge concert events that took place twice a year. So my plate was definitely full. Plus I'm a wife and a mother, and my plate was full. So this doctor, he was a key to unlock a door. He was my puzzle piece. He was a puzzle piece. Again, I did not know it at the time, but I know it now. I think back to that day that he said all of that to me a lot, especially now. I think back more often now, and I think about it a lot. I also think back to the way that I felt when I was in his office, because I felt safe and relaxed, and I felt comforted. I felt very comfortable in his office. And I say that because I was a hypochondriac, and I used to go to the doctors, and I was never afraid of them. But then finding out that, nothing was really wrong with me, and I had all these weird, strange symptoms happening all the time in my life, I was like, what the fuck? So then doctors made it seem like I was crazy, and all of this pain and all of these symptoms and side effects that I had were all in my head. So I developed a fear of doctors, and going to the doctors, even to this day, going to the doctors really triggers me, and it's getting worse. And I don't know why. I mean, I do kind of know why, but I can't get my blood pressure checked. That makes my blood pressure go up. I have to get it checked like 3 times. Sometimes I have wicked bad panic attacks while I'm sitting in the waiting room, and I have to go outside and or notify a nurse. I mean, it's bad, you guys. It's really bad. Going to the hospital and driving by an ER is just, I don't know. It just really gets to me. So being in his office, I was very comfortable, and I didn't feel any of that. He was definitely like an angel in disguise or something. His name was Dr. Toft. He was Jewish, and I looked up his name. I felt guided to look up his name, and his name in the Middle Ages meant homestead, home and area, houses. It's also Old Norse for site of house. My body is my soul's temporary house. He was bringing awareness and healing to my house. How cool is that? Shortly after I seen him, I moved out of New York City in October 2014, and I moved to Western New York. I moved back home to the area that I grew up in, that I was born in. I was born in Rochester, New York, but I ended up moving further away because Rochester is also another city. I moved further away from Rochester. I'm in between Rochester and Buffalo. I'm in the country. And out here, it's cows, corns, chickens, goats, llama, and farmers. That's basically what is out here. And trees. Lots and lots of beautiful trees, birds, and, beautiful. I'm by Lake Ontario. Beautiful stuff. There's just beautiful stuff out here. So I definitely believe that he was an earth angel trying to give me guidance without breaking the free will law, or he was, contracted. We had a soul contract. Either way, he was something special in my life at that time. So now that I shared all of that with you, and I gave you some life examples, real life examples about myself, I want to talk about symptoms that you could experience if you are not grounded. You need to learn how to ground yourself if you are feeling any of these symptoms, like being lightheaded. Real quick, before I list all of them, or some of them, not all of them, but some of them, I wanted to make a little side note. If these symptoms that I'm going to mention get worse, I advise you to seek medical care or see your doctor or whoever it is that you see for care, to rule out anything serious. And if you get a clean bill of health and there's nothing wrong with you, for the most part, if you're struggling with, anything that I mention on a daily basis and you are healthy, then it's most likely due to the fact that you're not grounded. And I know that a lot of these symptoms are the same symptoms when you're going through the ascension process, cosmic energy rays, solar energy coming in. And again, you need to be grounded when you're going through any of that. So grounding, so these symptoms are suffice for all of that. Or not suffice, but sufficient? I don't know the word I'm looking for. Mimic? Whatever. I'm kind of zenning out with the music on the side. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I'm setting the mood and I'm feeling it. Anyways, so if you're feeling, if any of these symptoms that you're feeling, it's possible that you're ungrounded. Lightheaded, tired, feeling drained, really disconnected from yourself, from the world, feeling dazed, feeling like you're floating, like a floaty feeling, like you're here but you're not. Feel shaky. You don't have to actually be shaky, but the insides of your body feel like they're shaking. If you're feeling really anxious or disoriented or really emotional, those are just a few of the symptoms of what being ungrounded really feels like. Another side note about being ungrounded. Being ungrounded puts you in a low vibration. Okay? That could cause you emotional pain. Being ungrounded puts you in a low vibration that can cause you emotional pain and hate. And both of those can and will cause body pain. And if you already have body pain, it will intensify it in certain areas. And that's how stagnant energy communicates to you, is through pain. So if you're ungrounded and you have built up energy inside your body and it becomes stagnant, it will let you know that it's stagnant. It will communicate to you, and it will by telling you there's pain somewhere in your body. Pain is your body's way of telling you something's wrong. Pain means it has a message for you. If you ignore the pain, it will turn into, it is a dis-ease because it's disharmony, but it could turn into a disease, a full-blown disease, an illness. For instance, stress can lead to muscle tension, and that muscle tension can be in your back or your neck. And then that muscle tension can lead to depression. And that depression can lead to anxiety and make the pain that you're experiencing even worse in your body. So here's another example. And I'm going to use diabetes because my father has diabetes and it's something I deal with all the time. So I feel like this would be a great example. So diabetes. Diabetes is a disease, right? And it comes from the Greek word meaning passing through. It's an inability to use the food you eat. The illness is relaying a message to you through the symptoms saying, sugar is harming you. Sugar is not nourishing your body. Stop consuming sugar. It's passing through you, causing harm. That's what your body's saying. Your pancreas is screaming at you. The pancreas is the principal gland involved in this dis-ease. Pancreas means all flesh. Without the pancreas and its function, you'll starve, literally. Insulin is a hormone involved in the disease. It's a hormone involved in this disease. So insulin comes from the root word island. It's about isolation. So check it out. So ultimately, the message is what diabetes is telling you, or what the disease that's causing this dis-ease that is causing you to have this diabetic issue, diabetes. Diabetes is about a soul pattern of emotional isolation, starving for love, and unable to get enough of its sweetness. Those are two examples of how the body will try to talk to you. Now, if you know somebody with diabetes, is that validating for you? Because I know it is for me. I know when I looked up the root words and I dug deeper into, the metaphysical reason for, diabetes, that's my dad. Dude, that's my dad, 100%. My dad he's isolated, emotionally isolated, and he lives in the past. He also developed some sort of thing, I don't know the medical name, but it's what is it called? Dementia? No, not dementia. Alzheimer's. Diabetes, Alzheimer's, or something like that you get from diabetes. That's like living in the past. So he has diabetes and emotional isolation, starving for love. He is, he always talks about his first love all the time. And he's single, so he's starving for love. And he's unable to get enough of its sweetness. So he substitutes it with food. Do you get it? Does it make sense to you? Okay, I'm moving on. But yeah. So I hope those examples really helped you and, really helped you to see that being ungrounded and out of alignment is really dangerous for you. Your soul cannot live in a body that is failing. Just like you cannot live in a house that has a short circuit issue or crossed wires or bad wires. If you are living in a house and your lights are flickering and you're constantly having, your lights going out and you got to go down to the breaker box, something's wrong. And you got to get it checked out. And if you don't get it fixed, something in your house could go really, really wrong. It could start on fire and it could burn down, just like your house. Or just like your body, if you don't take care of your body, you're going to burn it out and you're not going to have a body for your soul to live in. You need to be grounded. Being grounded helps you connect with your body, body, mind, spirit as one. We were never taught to ground ourselves. So Dr. Toff, my doctor, was telling me I needed nature. I needed grounding. Nature is healing. Grounding is healing, which got me thinking, how come none of my other medical doctors mentioned this to me? Instead, they made me feel like I was a nut. Like I was crazy. They called me a hypochondriac. They told me it was all in my head. Dr. Toff told me I needed fucking grounding. Not in those words, but at least he was an actual doctor that tried to heal me. You know, doctors are in the business to keep you sick. Nobody is going to help you. Just like nobody was here to help me. I had to figure this out on myself, and I was nudged. You know, I didn't come across this information because I was looking for it. This just, and I can't even say it was coincidence. I mean, it was meant to be. How it became was meant to be. You know, you just have to figure it all out. You have to figure it all out on your own, like I did. You know, I'm just glad that I'm here, you know, doing these videos. I created this channel to help people because I didn't get help until I was like in my 30s, you guys. That was a long time of life without, you know, help and living like a crazy person. So I was blessed to have, you know, a soul contract with Dr. Toff, you know, or maybe I was blessed to have an earth angel just fall upon my path. So at this point, you guys, if you're still listening to this video, maybe I am your earth angel, or maybe we were soul contracted together. Even though we're not face to face and we never met, doesn't mean that we didn't have a soul contract before incarnating. You know, so maybe I'm here giving you this message because I was contracted to do so I can help you heal, so that you can continue your earth journey and expand your awareness and consciousness. So now I'm at the part of the video where I'm going to talk to you guys and explain to you more of what grounding is and, you know, how you can do it so that you can heal. So walking in nature is a fantastic way to ground. I do it all the time. When you're doing that, you're in training with Gaia. Gaia is Earth. It will help you the more that you do it. You must do it regularly. It's not a one and done deal. It's a lifestyle adjustment. You have to be consistent. You know, the symptoms that I mentioned a few moments ago, anxiety, nervousness, depression, these are all feelings and sensations that happen when you're ungrounded and when you have excess energy running through your body, through your system. Knowing how to ground yourself can help relieve, you know, the excess energy to get you back in touch with Gaia, the earth, and your physical body. So I want to provide you with some tips which will help you to ground yourself, because this video is, you know, all about how to ground yourself. And I want to help you find peace and balance in your life. So remember, you guys, these tips that I'm sharing are not a one and done deal. I'm going to say that again. I want to instill this into your brain. These tips that I'm sharing with you are not a one and done deal. It's a lifestyle. Okay? You have to change your lifestyle. You must gradually acclimate yourself to doing these, you know, lifestyle changes. You have to be consistent, and eventually you will see and feel the results. Now, you're not going to go walk outside today barefoot and be healed. It doesn't work like that. You know, it took you many, many, many years to live in disharmony. Therefore, it may take years to undo the harm to heal your body. So make today day one of your lifestyle change to grounding and healing. And you don't have to do all of these tips. You can, but you don't have to. You could try and see, you know, what works for you. See what you're comfortable with. You can even modify them. I did. I modified a lot of these things. So let's start with tip number 1. This one's my favorite. I just mentioned it a few times already. Go for a walk. Go for a walk. But when you go for these walks, you got to do it barefoot, okay? Hold on, I gotta shift my body again. I'm a tad bit uncomfortable. Yeah, you have to go for a walk. You have to be barefoot, okay? You can't wear your rubber shoes, or it's not gonna do shit for you. Take your shoes off. I'm not asking you guys to walk around the streets of New York City barefoot. That's disgusting. The sidewalks are nasty. The bums poop on them. The dogs poop on them. They pee on them. They puke on them. They spit on them. It's gross. Don't walk barefoot on the sidewalks in New York City. Go to like Central Park or something. Or go to the Poconos or something. All right? Go to the beach. There's a beach in Queens, Rockaway Beach. Go walk in the sand in Rockaway Beach. All right? If you're a New Yorker. If you're somewhere else, just, you know, find a clean place to go barefoot and go walk around. And you know, there is such thing as soap and water. You can always wash your feet. If, you know, strutting your toes is not a thing. My husband would not be caught dead outside barefoot. Okay. But I will, because I can wash my feet. But I would definitely not walk in the streets of New York strutting toes. That's just gross. But yeah, go for a walk barefoot. The earth maintains a negative electrical potential. So when you're in direct contact on the earth, on the ground, you will receive that electric potential. The earth's electrons are conducted to your body. So walking barefoot, and if you're not into the whole walking thing, you can sitting down on the ground. You can even go to the Central Park and go sit on one of those big rocks. You know, that'll work too. Sitting on the ground, lying down on the ground, that will help. Gardening, if you're into gardening, you could do some gardening. That will ground you, bringing you to the same electrical potential as Gaia, Earth. You are in training to her energy, Gaia's energy. Okay, so tip number 2, get physical. Move, dance, run, walk, exercise. Do physical activities, because physical activities, sex is a physical activity. It releases endorphins. These are all a great way to reconnect with yourself and stay grounded. Exercise is great because you focus and connect with your physical body while expending excess energy at the same time. Yoga. I love yoga. Yoga is also great because it centers you on a spiritual and physical level. Yoga is great to learn how to control your breathing. Breath work is amazing and it's healing. And a lot of us do not breathe correctly. Number 3, watch funny stuff on YouTube, like cat videos or comedies on TV. I mean, like, don't geek up on TV all the time, but it's good to, you know, watch a little bit of TV. TV puts us in a different frame of mind, and it allows us to like check out for a little bit. You know, life is rough, and when it gets a little rough, you know, put something on, something that makes you feel good, something that makes you laugh. Laughing raises your vibration. I watch funny stuff when I start to feel scared or nervous or sad. You know, it's like a pick-me-up for energy. It's an energy pick-me-up. I put something funny on. I like to watch like cat, you know, videos and stuff like that. Stay away from the news. The news is depressing. It will not make you feel better. It will not make you feel good at all. The news is all fear-mongering, fear porn. They're using their scare tactics to lower your vibration. So don't watch the news, you know, okay? So low vibration equals fear. Fear equals control. False evidence appearing real. You want to stay away from the news, okay? Let's see here. By watching the news and allowing them to create fear in your life, that fear is used to control you. For a couple years now, we've managed to raise the vibration of the planet, and we've raised the vibration as a collective, and we're changing physically and spiritually. We're going through an evolution right now. We're ascending. As a collective, we're ascending. You may not even know it, but we are. We're ascending. And we don't need the news to get the information from around the world. We can get positive news information from our collective, from, you know, all around the world, you know, by logging into Facebook, you know, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, whatever it is, whatever platform that you use. You know, for instance, the Freedom Riders, the truckers driving through Canada. We know about this wonderful information due to our soul family sharing this truth, because, you know, NBC News and CNN and Fox are not sharing it. And when they did, they shared a bullshit story about it. something that was totally untrue as to why the trucker convoys were on the move and what they were actually doing. So the truckers started to create these huge, large banners and signs, and they started to hang them from their trucks, letting people know that they're doing this for our freedom, because they knew people like you and I are out there standing on the street that are in Canada filming this, to let the rest of the world know that they're actually doing this for freedom. Not for anything else, but for freedom. This is what you consider positive news from our collective. It's non-scripted, eye-witnessing, first-hand news, and they're sharing it. Our soul family is sharing it. You don't need news from, NBC and Fox and all that. The cabal, or the powers that be, they're really, really losing their grip on us, their control. If we truly figure out how powerful we really are, and I feel like we are waking up to that power, then the game is over for them. I told you guys in my 2022 yearly energy video that 2022 was going to be a great year. And so far, there's a lot of awesome things that are happening. We are all uniting as one. We are the people. Even though the war has begun, the powers that be are trying their hardest to bring, down our vibrations. But I at this point, I don't think they can, because the light from the collective has already started to shine, and it spread like wildfire. It's already big. It's expanding. So just stop worrying about all the scary stuff that's out there, and send love to the freedom fighters and, all the people that are raising the vibration of the planet, people out there that are doing good for all of us, for the planet, for everything. And just be love, you guys. This is us evolving. Moving on to tip number 4. Take care of yourself. I know that just seems so simple, right? Take care of yourself. And you can do this. You need to take care of yourself and your immune system. And if you do, you'll be happy. You'll be in less pain, less inflammation, maybe no inflammation at all, less physical damage. Not to mention, less physical damage equals a happier human being. Happy, you can be this soul in this avatar and be painless. And you can do this by eating your vitamins. Vitamins like C, D, K, E, A. Take copper and zinc, magnesium, selenium. Look into herbs like milk thistle, rose hips, turmeric, ginger, and your immune system will be golden. Exercise, move your body. Take care mentally by being kind to yourself and nature and the earth. If you see garbage on the road, pick it up, throw it away. Take care of others. Take care of yourself. Smile, whistle, hum. Tell yourself that you're beautiful, that you're smart, you're successful, you're divine. Know that you're divine. Be mindful, meditate, and you'll live a long, healthy, happy life. This may sound really easy, but it's challenging. It's a lifestyle. You have to make changes to make this your lifestyle to get these benefits, and you have to commit to it. The next tip for you guys is soak your feet in water or take a hot bath. Add some Epsom salts to your bath or Himalayan sea salt, but just don't add table salt because table salt is toxic. And you can even add a couple drops of essential oils to set the mood. Now, the reason for soaking your feet will bring the energy down and away from your head, your crown chakra, and into your body, which will ground you. Now, the bathing part of this will cleanse your aura and also ground you, because salt is notorious for healing the body. It holds one of the most purifying vibrations around. This is why a lot of us use salt to neutralize energy in our healing crystals. So if you decide to do the bath, you would want to immerse your whole body for at least 20-25 minutes in hot water. Not scalding hot, nothing that's going to burn you, but it has to be hot water, but comfortably, something that you can comfortably sit in. And if you're an adult, you'd want to add 1 to 2 cups of the salt to your bath. If it's for a child, a half a cup to a cup of salt. The next tip for you guys is, dun, dun, dun. I know it's cliche. You know, the next two are probably cliche. This one is hug a tree. So if you choose to hug a tree, all you have to do is take a big deep breath, put your arms wide open, wrap them around the tree, and just breathe. Allow yourself to connect with the earth. This will help you charge up. And if you're not into hugging trees, just sit under the tree and sit on the roots of the tree. You know, lean your back up against the tree. It'll do the same thing. The next one that I also said was cliche was meditate. I mean, I don't think it's cliche anymore, but I used to. Meditation is great, you know, for just about anything. Anything. Like if you need answers to something, meditate. Meditate. Meditating. It seems so simple, but yet it's just not. I mean, it can be very simple, but there's times that it's just not, especially if you're a person that can't sit still. It takes practice. But the easiest and the quickest way to learn how to meditate is to either just find one on YouTube, you know, a guided meditation, something that, you know, you're comfortable with, that you find and you feel that you're comfortable with, one that resonates with you. Or you could just try the method where you sit in a chair or you lie down on the floor and you just imagine that your feet, you know, have roots like a tree and that they're anchoring themselves deep within, you know, deep into the earth. And while you're doing this, you're going to want to breathe and allow yourself to be balanced. And also while you're doing this, you could also imagine, you know, while you're imagining the roots coming out of you, going into the ground, you can also imagine your favorite color surrounding you, like creating a bubble around you to protect you. And again, if you feel like you need more help in meditation, I mean, there's so many guided meditations on YouTube. Moving on to the next tip for you guys. If meditation is difficult for you, like I mentioned a few moments ago, because you can't sit still or focus or anything like that, try this. Bring your attention to the present moment. And the best way to do this is by performing a body scan. And I do this when I lie down in bed. Before I go to sleep, I perform a body scan. But you can literally do this anywhere at any time. You know, riding in the car, if you're not driving, of course, riding on the bus, the train, you know, laying out on the beach, you can just perform a body scan. And how you would do that is you would take a couple big deep breaths and you'd sit in a comfortable position and then begin to internally scan your body, starting at your toes. And then you'd want to ask yourself, what do my toes feel like? And then, you know, you would say, are there any sensations that I can perceive? Do they feel hot? Do they feel cold? Are they tingly? Do they feel heavy? You know, you want to ask questions like that and just notice what you see and perceive when you're doing that. And then you'd want to move up through your legs to your pelvis and up through the rest of your whole entire body. So you're just observing the way that your body feels in this moment. And that's a great way to ground. The goal is to be where you are physically. This also works to bring you out of a panic attack if you're somebody that struggles with anxiety. Okay. There's another thing that I do when I'm struggling with anxiety is when I notice that I'm about to have a panic attack, or if I am having a panic attack, I'll walk around and I'll touch things, or I'll run cold water over my hands. And then I turn my focus to what's going on in my body as the cold water is hitting my skin. And then I notice what's going on in my environment around me as the water is running over my hands, you know. And then I would turn my focus to whatever's in the room and turn my focus into what I see. And if I was to do that right now, I would say something like, I see rocks. I got my selenite candle. My candle's burning. I'm noticing that there is a scent in the air from my candle. It's very earthy. You know, my cat, my cat's next to me. So you just want to bring awareness. And you can even talk to yourself out loud. And that will bring you back into the moment, you know, the present moment. And that's a great way to ground you to your body right here and now. Okay, so the next tip that I have for you guys, I actually lost count, but the next tip that I have for you is drink water. I like to drink water with lemon or lime because that alkalizes my body. Disease cannot live in a body that's alkali, you know, an alkalized body. So disease lives in a very acidic body. So hate and stress cause acid in your body. So remember that. All right. So the quantity of water that you drink will also be extremely important to you during the ascension process, not just grounding, but for the ascension process and the grounding process. The water we drink allows the electrum to flow through the body, which is light lowered to a density as it enters the body mass. The more water you drink, the easier it is for the light energy to enter your body and move through the physical body, rejuvenating all of your organs in your body. It would be really smart that during the time of your cellular transformation, also known as the ascension process, to drink lots of water, at least a gallon of water a day, at least if you can. The additional water allows the light to move through the body faster. Light is an electrical force in our density, and the additional water assists the movement of that light. So from your perspective, you cleanse your body with additional fluids. The additional water permits the light to move through your body as the prana brings new life into and through the body. In order for this transformation process or ascension process to be as comfortable as possible, you will need to keep your intake of water up, helping you ground as this process takes place. Okay, keyword, ground as this process takes place. If you do not drink enough water, your body will attempt to retain fluid in order to ensure that the element flow within your system is maintained. And you don't want that because it's uncomfortable. You will literally, by drinking water, you are literally washing away your old body. And I did a video about this, your body formatting, because we're losing this dense matter and we are evolving into our crystalline body. We probably won't see it in this lifetime, but we're in the ascension process that has started. That's why a lot of this ascension causes a lot of discomfort in your body. Okay, so it's washing away your old body formatting and it's rebuilding as you are, living and breathing, I did a video on this. If you're interested in learning more about that, just hit me up and I'll look for the video and I'll send you the link. Moving on. The next thing I got for you guys here is eating root vegetables. Anything that grows underground, under the surface of the earth, will help you connect with Earth's energies. Because in order for that vegetable to grow inside of the earth, it had to have been entrained with Gaia's energy, with Earth's energy. So here are some examples of grounding foods. Foods like potatoes, carrots, beets, sweet potatoes, onions, radishes, garlic, I like to make a lot of soups, especially during the dark months, because they're very grounding. I call it Witchy's grounding soup. So the next tip that I got for you guys: spend time around positive people. Cut out the people that make your life feel shitty. And those people could be your spouse, your parents, your siblings, your best friends, your boss. Cut them out. Snip, snip, cut them out. So people hold their own vibration, and some people are more grounded than other people. Remember, your vibe attracts your tribe. Okay, remember that. You don't want people that bring your vibration down. The next tip that I got for you guys is colors. You know, you can use color to ground yourself. Colors hold power, you know, powerful vibrations. You can wear certain colors to, you know, for certain reasons. Like, for example, red. Red is a power color. For me, it's a power color. I wear red when I go to like a job interview or something. I feel red gives me power and control of my interview process. It makes me feel bold. It makes me feel strong. It makes me feel sexy. I wear a color, you know, when I know that I'm going to do something and I want that, I want to attract something. So I will wear the color that will attract it. But it could literally be, you know, any color for you that you like. And you don't even have to wear colors. You can even visualize colors, you know, surrounding you and filling up your body. You know, visualizing colors does the same thing as wearing colors. Also, I like red because red is associated to the root chakra, which is the chakra that deals with grounding. So, and you can also, you know, use other neutral colors like browns and blacks and, you know, like nature colors, green, stuff like that. You know, all these colors are grounding. Or you can use any color that, you know, you resonate with. It could be silver, it could be gold, it can be yellow, it can be anything. Literally anything. Do what makes you feel good. There are no rules to this, you guys. You know, I may say grounding colors are brown and green, but you may say grounding colors are yellow and red and purple. There's no rules. Do what makes you feel happy, and remember that. The next thing I got for you guys is incense and sound. A smell, a scent is a vibration, you know. Scents are good because they create the mood and they can raise your vibration. So I like to burn a lot of sage and Palo Santo. Those are my favorite. And I even like to use those oils. And I want to send a quick shout out to my soul sister, Morgan, because she sent me some wonderful essential oils and some beautiful bottles that she painted on. They're so gorgeous. And she did this to help us, you know, help my family set the mood and mix and match some of these oils that she sent to us so that we could, you know, spray around, you know, the house and ground our spaces. So oils and candles and incense, they're all great and they set the mood for you guys. Patchouli, chamomile, sage oil, frankincense, lavender, those are all great grounding scents and oils. Sound. I love sound. I'm using sound right now. I even use sound when I don't feel good. And binaural beats, I swear by them. I swear by them. I put my headphones on when I have a migraine or a sinus, like my sinuses are all jacked up. I will put on binaural beats and it helps, but you have to wear headphones. So for me, binaural beats, there's 1,000 of them on YouTube. Search YouTube, look for them. I bought not a crystal bowl. I bought a copper bowl. I want a crystal bowl so bad. I wish they weren't so expensive, but I really like my copper bowl. I just found out a month ago that I was using it wrong, and now I know how to use it correctly, and it's beautiful. It's more beautiful than it was before when I was playing it the wrong way. So sound can be very grounding. Also toning. Toning is a sound. Toning is you using your voice to stimulate and heal areas of your body. Did you know that children and babies do this? They're toning. We do this as adults and we don't even know we're doing this. I didn't even know that it was a thing until I knew it was a thing. So some babies cry themselves to sleep. They're doing a certain kind of a cry, not because they're hungry, not because they want to be picked up. It's kind of like it's a way that they cry to cry themselves to sleep, but it's not stressful or causing distress. It's their way of comforting themselves to fall asleep. So they're grounding themselves. When kids are sick, and they have a tummy ache, or they don't feel good, and they're in like the fetal position, and they're humming and they're rocking their body, that's them toning. That's them healing their body. And not all kids do this, but I feel like the kids that do this a lot, those children are going to grow up. I mean, like everybody is an empath, but those children are going to be the empaths that know that they're different from the rest, if that makes sense. Even adults do this. I do this. I hum. Sometimes I whistle. My husband whistles. He sings. That's a form of toning. Even when I don't feel good, I'm like, oh, as I rock back and forth, that's me toning. And you can tone on purpose by, making humming noises to hit the vibration of your root chakra, to send healing to that chakra, or to unblock that chakra. And if you want to learn about toning, there's videos on YouTube that can show you how to do that. Let me see here. I feel like I lost my place here, you guys. I think I'm just going over all my stuff, and I want to see if I went over all of my tips. Yeah. Just give me a second. I feel like my daughter is waiting for me. I feel like somebody's outside of my door, unless it's my cat. I did notice my phone rang while I was making this video. Yeah, I think I went over all of my tips, you guys. This video is long. So yeah. Well, guys, I guess that's it. The most important thing to keep in mind is that not every tip that I mentioned works, for every person. So, what grounds me might not ground you. So keep trying different techniques or a combination of them until you find, what's most helpful for you, and modify, do what makes you feel right. These tips that I share are, they're only guidelines to aid you on your own spiritual path. And, and with all spiritual work, it's about finding your own truth. Okay. I'm sharing. That's all, guys. I'm just here sharing. So if you disagree or feel uncomfortable with anything that I suggested, by all means, find an alternative truth that is acceptable to you, and take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Grounding and earthing is all about the awareness that we are still in a physical body. It's a conscious lifestyle that needs to be practiced daily to feel the results. It's not a one and done deal. And I mentioned that already. It's not a one and done deal. So I just want to thank you all for listening. And please share with me, what works for you. Share down in the comments. If add something, if I didn't mention something, add something. Before I end the video, I wanted to say thank you. I appreciate you all. I love you. And I want to let you guys know, especially those of you that are new, that I want to mention my services. I am still doing the tarot readings, the past life readings, the oracle readings, and I'm still doing the numerology report, the numerology reports. They're really long, you guys. They're like 10, 12 pages long. For those of you that have had one done, if you'll put down in the comments, some feedback so people can see. Even if you've gotten a reading from me, put some feedback in the comments area so other people, be honest. I mean, I've gotten all good feedback, but, so other people can see that I'm, this is something that I do, and I'm just not, some Joe Schmo coming out here like, hey, give me your money. Let me tell you your future. All right. I do it all by donation, you guys. I am still actively making my personal grounding sprays, and Morgan made my grounding spray mixing and matching like so interesting, because she sent me scents that I didn't have, and they're beautiful. I love it. So if you're interested, please email me. If you would like to send a cash donation to help support my channel, that'd be great. I provided links down below in the description. My PayPal, Cash App information is down there. But most of you already know that, you know, I love time donations and I accept all time donations. And for those of you that are new and you're like, what is a time donation? A time donation is you using your time to write me a letter, draw me a picture, you know, something that makes you have to do something physically to send it to me via snail mail, you know, good old fashioned snail mail. And I have all of my address information down below as well. I love time donations. You know, when you guys send me stuff, my vibration goes from like 0 to 100. You light me up. You really do. I just got one the other day and it really changed my mood instantly. And, you know, because it makes my day so much better. It really does. And I do the same for other people. So when, you know, random acts of kindness, I like to do the same thing. You know, doing random acts of kindness is very contagious. If I know that it brightens my day, I know doing something like that for somebody else will definitely brighten their day. So I love you guys. I'm sending you guys, again, lots of love. Love, 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 love. And lots of healing light. Stay blessed. I love you. Mwah. Thank you for listening.